That the Houston training camp with Ronnie Shields and Brian Caldwell was an experiment. We were there from January 4th to January 25th. Other than that, I've been in charge, and we trained here in Riverside, my man. We never went back to Houston. The reality is that Chris decided to put the sport first where it needs to be. And, you know, I can't take credit for anything. I can't shift credit or shift blame. The fact is he decided to pull his head out of his ass and train like he should be. As far as him making the choice about, you know, training properly, treating the sport the way it should be, I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. But I move forward being cautiously optimistic. You know, we'll take it fight by fight. And then, like I said, we look forward to him, you know, continuing the new dedication, the renewed dedication to the sport.
Henry, is this exciting as a trainer, seeing Chris in a different type of shape? Does that make it so that you can bring things to the table strategically that he might not have been able to pull off in his previous condition?
Well, absolutely, because so much of the focus was on doing, you know, strategic things more so than the weight. I'll be honest. I looked at the tape today of the fight, and it's funny because I see the tape, and there was a few things that I wasn't happy with, but the media was ecstatic. The media was ecstatic because every report I seen was a new trimmed Arreola at 230-something. There were fights that I was very happy with his performance where he weighed 250, but yet the media wasn't satisfied with his performance at 250. They found things to nitpick at. And it's funny how the weight is a true indicator as to what the media believes, because I found the media nitpicking that stuff at 250 what they wouldn't nitpick at 234. And I found the media giving them praise for at 234 what they wouldn't give them praise for at 250. I have to tell you guys, I thought last night's performance was average at best. I've seen other performances where he weighed over 250 where he blew me away, you know. But
there's
you
a little
guys
bit
aren't
of
the
that realism from Henry.
You guys aren't the experts. We are. I make a living in this. I've been in boxing for over 25 years of my life. Chris didn't find me on the street corner. People tell me, oh, you and Chris are friends. We weren't at a party, and he said, oh, you're going to be my trainer. I fought for 12 years. I trained fighters for 5 years before I got Chris. You know, I didn't walk into this sport. So, you know, a lot of the non-believers, the naysayers, the uninformed can basically go fuck off.
What did he do differently in training exactly? Was it just turning up for every session?
Well, let me tell you, you hit it right on the head with the first thing you said. He showed up to every training session. Every training session, he was there. He showed up. And the other thing is, I'll be honest, he's had much more stability in his personal life. You know, he allowed way too many things in his personal life affect what gone on in the ring. And for this training camp, the 7-8 weeks, he decided, you know what? Whatever goes on outside of the ring, I can't control. The only thing I can control what goes on in the ring. He showed up every day and worked his ass off. And I have never felt so confident going into a fight, because let me tell you, there were other fights where I felt completely unconfident. I felt bothered, you know, just really, really down about the work that had been done. But this fight, there was none of that. I felt confident. I felt happy. It was exciting to see Chris excited about being at the boxing gym.
Why do you like Chris Arreola's chances against Wladimir over Vitali?
Because Wladimir has shown he's susceptible to a guy with pressure, nonstop pressure, power punching, and combination punching, you know, closing the distance. You know, his losses were to Corey Sanders, Layman Brewster, and I don't remember the guy early in his career. I don't remember the name, but I feel we have a much better chance. Ross Purdy, you're exactly right. Ross Purdy. I feel we have a better chance. I've always thought we had a better chance with Vlad than we did Vitali.
Now, that being said, if a Vitali Klitschko rematch were offered to you, would you take it?
Absolutely, because you know why? When the opportunity presents itself, you have to take it. If it was presented to us, we would take it. But like I said, our goal is Wladimir Klitschko, David Haye, Tomasz Adamek, who Chris gifted after the victory to, and you know, we'll see what happens.
Definitely. Thank you so much. I knew I was going to get an interesting answer from you. I really appreciate you, answering my questions.
Hey, when I call in, you can ask any question. I don't give a fuck. I will always answer truthfully, just like Chris.
Henry, look, you can't say something like that without me asking you some other stuff right now. If you
No
told
problem,
us
my man.
that we could ask you anything, here we go. What's going on with Manny Pacquiao and steroids?
I don't know. I'm hearing a lot, but you know what? I'll be honest. I've always been a true believer that Mayweather would box the shit out of him. I'm not so sure anymore. You know, I'm not so sure. I wonder now if Mayweather could land something hard enough to keep him off. I'm not sure. You know, Manny Pacquiao's a buzzsaw, and until he's proven dirty or guilty of for performance-enhancing drugs, you just got to accept what's going on. It's greatness, you know.
There it is. Henry Ramirez ain't buying into all the nonsense talk. So you think Manny Pacquiao gives him a run for his money, Henry?
You know what? I used to think Mayweather would win. I used to, because I've always been a big Mayweather fan. I've always been a big believer in his ring intelligence, his defense. You know, I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan. But, you know, now as we look forward, he's been off for a while. I mean, it's just hard to go against Pacquiao based on what he's accomplished. Just the wave he's on. I mean, it would hard. I can't see him losing. It's weird. I can't see him losing. Not saying it can't happen because any fighter can be beat, but it's hard to see who's going to beat him.
Well, tell me, do you think Floyd is scared of Manny? You're saying you don't know who win the fight now. Do you think that Floyd's worried about it?
No, I don't think he's afraid. I just think he wants everything to be on a level playing field which suits his mentality. In other words, if he has doubts about Manny Pacquiao's ability moving up, and if he feels like, you know, maybe he's on PEDs and he needs some self-assurance, fuck it. Take the fucking test. They're both going to take the test, and let's move on and just make the biggest fight in the history of the sport. You're mean to telling me some bullshit steroid test or whatever bullshit is stopping the biggest fight in the history of the sport? You got to be fucking kidding me. Both guys stand to make $50 million. Both guys are crossover stars at this point. And we're going to let a random test, whether it be a week, 2 weeks, 5 days, 2 days before the fight, stop the biggest fight in history. It's bullshit to me.
Henry Ramirez says take the test and both get paid. Henry, what do you think about Bernard Hopkins, Jean Pascal Part 2 in Montreal on the 21st?
Well, I thought Bernard won the first fight, and Bernard is the reason why Shane Mosley and all the rest of these old fuckers think they can still compete. The only difference is Bernard is the 1-2 guy who can still compete. Let alone these guys who are in their mid to late 30s. Bernard is in his mid-40s, and he's the only guy that can still compete at the upper echelon level. The rest of these guys are pretending and hanging on to a dream that ended 5-6 years ago, man. Bernard is the true epitome of a throwback fighter, and he's also shown that if a fighter prepares himself and, more importantly, takes care of himself, he can compete at the highest level for years, what people beyond think is possible. But he's also the reason why fucking Mosley got his ass whooped last week. Because Mosley believes he can still compete.
All right, there it is from Henry Ramirez. Almost speechless, but Henry, there is a flip side of that. You're talking about Bernard on the same day on the other side of the planet in Moscow, Russia. Roy Jones Jr. steps into the ring with a beast named Denis Lebedev.
Look, let's be honest. Roy Jones was done the day Tarver splattered him. He never should have fought after that. He's been an embarrassment to himself. It was a great thing for the sport. He was an incredible athlete. He was never an incredible boxer because he did a lot of things wrong. But yet when Mother Nature got up to him, all the reflexes, the hand speed, all that, you know, when you lack the technicality of the sport, that will always come back to haunt you. He always lacked that. You know, but he was so physically gifted, it was never apparent then. I wish Roy Jones the best. I really do. I wish Roy Jones the best, but I don't think he should be fighting anymore. I really wish somebody near him, I wish his people would not go with him to the fight and say, you know what, F the money. F the money. Your health is more important to me than whatever I'm going to get paid. But in this sport where there's a bunch of scumbags and leeches and sharks, there will always be people to go with you to take that percentage, even though you're a no-hoper and you got no chance.